Hey, we're back.
Hey. Riding Side Saddle.
Episode 6. It's Tammy.
And Lisa.
So we're here today to talk about where the F are my boundaries. Yeah, another hot button.
Yeah, it is. I don't know where I put them.
Your boundaries?
A long time ago, it feels like sometimes.
I feel like I didn't have them, then I did, and maybe now I don't, and then I do, and then like they come and go. I'm not very good at finding them and keeping them. Like, this is my line and I mean it. I'm not good at the I mean it part at all. So I think I don't really have boundaries then.
So that changes maybe based on who you're talking to or
Maybe.
who you're interacting with.
Or just where I'm at on
life.
any given day.
Yeah, that's fair. We had posted a post on Facebook recently, and the quote was something like, if we spent as much time teaching our young women how to set boundaries as we did to teach them to be polite, what would the world look like right now? And we got a lot of interaction on that. There was a lot of likes and loves and hearts, and it really is very connected to this topic, right? Being polite as opposed to politely saying, here's my line.
Right. Well, being polite, that encompasses so many things. Women are chronic apologizers. Mm-hmm. We apologize literally for everything and for nothing. We apologize for taking up any amount of space. We apologize for having thoughts. We apologize for having questions. Whether it's a genuine apology or it's a flippant, well, excuse me, I'm sorry kind of apology.
Yeah.
We say it all the time. So teaching our young girls to be polite, fine, but to have boundaries and not apologize for being.
Right. We apologize for apologizing.
Yes.
Honestly. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Even I found myself in this was a work setting, and I find myself doing it. It's not all of the time, but I know I've done it more than once. And essentially, it is me saying, I know I'm not as much as you. My title's not the same as yours, so my education's not as big as yours. My diplomas aren't as big, so I'm not as big. So my ideas can't be as big. And I start off sentences by minimizing all of that.
Yeah.
And then I'll say something that has plenty of value and is exactly on point with the discussion we're having in brainstorming session and strategy sessions and things. But I have to bring myself down, even if no one else sees me that way. I do it, and I do it in a verbal way, just so everybody knows I know my place here.
Right, exactly.
Sorry, I'm not as much as you. That's not right. Then I shouldn't be in the meeting.
Yes, agree. I am relatively new to my job, to a new, not a new career path, but a new employer. And, in a different industry. So oftentimes for the last almost year, I find myself starting out situations or comments or questions in just that way. I'm really sorry, but I have to ask this question, right? To kind of create the space where I'm laying the foundation to make sure that it is acceptable or maybe even it just neutralizes, right? I'm going to ask a question. I'm doing it. I'm really sorry. I'm new. And now I'm going to ask this question. So it really kind of creates this neutral level of foundation to be able to say, don't think that I'm dumb.
I'm just new. I'm not dumb.
I'm just new, right?
Sorry I'm bothering you, but I'm new.
Right. And that I think makes me realize that this chronic apology, which a couple of people have actually talked to us about, just in comments and saying, hey, you should do a topic like this. This is a thing and it's a problem. But it makes me realize that, at least from my vantage point, when I do it, and I do too often, it is to lay some foundation to say, don't attack me. Don't misconstrue why I might be asking a question or bringing up a topic, or maybe bringing up a topic that I know that you don't want to discuss, to be able to just neutralize. And
Are you creating a safe space for yourself?
yeah, because
To stop people from judging you
Yes.
before they even have a chance to think you should be judged.
Thank you. I guess that's actually exactly what I'm doing. I'm feeling unsafe. I'm feeling vulnerable. I feel like I perhaps might be attacked based off of, whatever's going to come out of my mouth next. So I pave the way. When we were talking about this, the visualization of a dog comes up, where the dog who is less dominant will oftentimes lay on its back underneath the dog who is deemed to be more dominant, and show its most vulnerable spot, right? He's going to lay there with his belly open to say, if you're going to do it to me, here it is. I'm laying it out for you. You're the king. And that's the visualization that comes up with these apologies. Like, I'm really sorry. Let me lay on my back here, but I have something to say.
Yikes.
I know. It's
you're
very
already-
vivid. It's very vivid.
It is, but you're putting yourself in a, not just a vulnerable place, but you are putting yourself in a place of being less than. I'm less than you. You're more dominant
I'm telling
than me.
you that
I accept my role as being small.
yes. But even if I'm being small, I have something I have to ask or something to say,
Right.
which is,
And I'm really sorry.
it's unnerving, actually.
Ugh.
I mean, I realize that is a really distinct visualization, and unnerving to say about myself, but I think there's some truth to it.
Yeah. Well, there is. Why do we feel like we have to apologize and put ourselves in a place to be less than other people to feel safe? So are we creating a space where we can feel safe, or are we creating a space where other people can feel like we are not trying to be dominant?
Both. That's my point. If I am asking a question or making a statement to somebody who maybe I know that they're going to be defensive. Maybe I believe that they might possibly be defensive. Maybe I think that they're going to make a judgment about me. I'm going to lay that out there first. To say, you can feel safe. I'm gonna ask the question or say what I have to say, and you don't have to worry about whether or not you are going to lose your position as dominant by what I'm about to say. I'm going to bare my belly, tell you I'm sorry, and then say it, and you're still king. Don't you worry.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Gosh. Did you realize that you were apologizing?
I have in this most recent job, only because people have been bringing it to my attention.
So you did not realize it. People have said it to you.
Correct.
Ooh.
Like, you don't need to apologize.
That happened to me also. I didn't realize I was doing it until it was brought to my attention.
Yeah.
I would be saying something, sharing something, and somewhere in that conversation, I would say, I'm sorry. And I think I was doing it a lot. And this one person in particular, I noticed she started saying things like, I really don't think that's something you have to be sorry for. You don't have to be sorry. Why would you be sorry about that? And I was saying it in more of a flippant way, almost sarcastically, and like a sorry sort of way, rather than, I'm really sorry to bother you. Could I just ask a quick question? Not like that. It was more like so this person attacked me. Well, sorry for breathing. Like that sort of environment. And she would say, I don't really think that's something you have to be sorry for. And that's when I started realizing how often I was saying it.
Right.
So I started paying attention, which then caused me to stop doing it so often. And then I got to the point where I was where I decided I'm only going to be sorry if I'm actually sorry.
So you made a deliberate effort.
Yes, right. And sometimes I still catch myself doing it. And it's not like when you bump into someone accidentally.
Certainly.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Like, not like that, but and I'm not going to think of a good example right now, but I know recently I did catch myself doing it, and then I immediately followed it with, actually, I'm not sorry. I meant what I said, and I'm not sorry.
Probably in a heat of the moment
It
conversation.
wasn't even angry. It was just like, I don't know why I apologize for that, because I'm not actually sorry.
Yeah.
It was, again, a situation where I'm taking up space.
Yeah.
It wasn't an angry argument. It wasn't at all. It was just I'm doing it. Why am I apologizing? I'm not actually sorry.
So one of the things that I've noticed, because I listen to these things 20 and 30 times, is
As our biggest fan.
right. We have both used the word kinda in situations where, we could very easily eliminate the word, oh, this is kind of awesome. This is kind of spectacular.
We're minimizing.
Yes.
Really?
And you specifically, within one of our most recent episodes, you said, this isn't kinda awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Stop doing that. And I was like, whoa, yes. Yes. It is awesome.
Yeah.
It's not kinda nothing. It's awesome.
It is. Right.
And I think that does. God, I didn't even mean to do that.
Just caught yourself.
I did. I think that does speak to the same thing that we're talking about with the apology.
Yeah.
It minimizes.
It does, doesn't it?
It's a self-minimizing term.
So then when
phrase.
you're in a position where you're trying to make an important point, whether it's in your personal life or professional life or wherever, and people don't listen to you, it's because you've just spent the last however many weeks, months, years minimizing yourself. No wonder they don't listen. No wonder they don't look to you as a leader, because you don't see yourself that way. If you portray yourself as being small and minimizing any amount of big you might be, apologizing when there's no apology needed.
So here's where I struggle with this. I agree 100% of what you're saying. I know that I bring to the table behaviors and words and phrases and things that, like, I own some of this, right? I can be all pissed off, like, why don't you take me seriously? And what I have to say is really important. And to your point, I do some of these things to myself unwittingly sometimes that creates the opportunity for people to say, oh, I don't really get the feeling that you do, like, you do belong at the table,
right?
Or what you have to say is really important, because I don't believe that you believe it's really important. I get all that. I'm with you. And from a self-discovery, a self-awareness perspective, I'm like up to my earlobes in understanding what I'm doing in these situations to myself, as opposed to blaming other people. Fully with you. Okay. So
however,
period. There is a spectrum there.
Yeah.
There is Lisa, how can anybody believe you or feel that, what you have to say is valuable if you minimize what you're saying before you even say it, right? That's the left side of the spectrum.
That's valid.
And then the middle portion of the spectrum would be like, okay, I'm not going to minimize myself. And what I have to say is really important. And I'm really smart. And all of these things. So listen to me. And then on the right side of the spectrum comes where's the line of, assertive versus bitchy?
Oh, aggressive. Assertive versus aggressive.
Or bitchy because I have boobs.
Well, because when you're a woman, aggressive is bitchy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right.
So there's a sweet spot, because I don't really want to be considered, well, she's just a bitch, because I'm going to be dismissed then
and
too.
a know-it-all. And there is a sweet spot. I think, though, we teach people how to treat us, right?
Absolutely.
I was at, this story gets me wound up every last time. I was at a Christmas party. It was a company Christmas party. And it was my husband's employer. My husband was new to this job. He had been there like since August, and this is maybe like December or January. It's a holiday party, right? And he's an electrician. So there's, in the trades, there's always a large group of young people in, any given trade.
Right.
So I'm looking around at this party and I'm realizing that we are one of the older people in this room. And there's maybe like 40 or 50 people here, right? And I'm looking around and I'm like, man, yeah, that's what, like it happens, right? I mean, when you're
Just
younger,
like that.
when you're younger, you're like, ooh, look at me. I'm the young one in the room. Lucky me. I'm young and you're old. And then one day you're like, ooh, dang it. I'm the old one here now.
Right.
So I'm realizing like there is maybe like 1 or 2 people older than me at this party. And I'm, 49, 50 years old. It's not like I'm, ready for a grave, but I'm definitely the old lady in the room. So I'm an observer. I don't know anybody except my husband, right? And I can talk to just about anybody, but I need a minute to kind of to observe.
You have
Yes,
to survey the situation.
I do. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at a table with some of the other wives of the employees, and so it's like all the men, the workers are over here at this end, and the wives are over here at this end, and so I'm sitting there. I don't really have a lot in common with the women I'm sitting with because they're so much younger than me. Right. They're talking about their toddlers. And I'm like, well, so I have a toddler grandchild.
Right.
I'm so much, I'm in a completely different phase of life. Even if I'm not like 30 years older than them, I'm easily 20 years older.
Right.
Right. Or even 15 years. And they just started their family younger or older than when I started my family. Anyway, I'm looking around and I see there is one table where no one is sitting except this one young woman. And she's sitting there like she's slouched down in her chair. She's got her phone almost like up to her nose. She's so intent on being buried in her own little bubble.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is wrong. Who is she here with? And why is she sitting there by herself? Who is treating her poorly?
Right.
And so, I'm just observing, and I wait a little while, and I see that she's just over there in her own world that she is creating with her cell phone, and so I call my husband over, and I said, "Who belongs to this girl sitting over here?" And he's like, "I don't know. I think she's so and so's girlfriend. I'm not sure." And I said, "Who's so and so? Who is this?" And he says, "I don't know. I think it's this guy here. I'm not really even sure, but I think it's him." And I was like, "I think you need to introduce me to him because I got a couple of things to say."
Woo-woo!
Oh yeah, and
Tammy's
Josh,
pissed off.
I know. And Josh says, "Tammy, leave it. Tammy,
Take a breath, girl.
don't do it. Tammy, don't do it. Just
I can
leave
see
it."
the look in your eye.
Yeah, exactly. He was panicking a little bit, I think, on the inside.
I know that
Don't
look.
do it. Yeah.
It doesn't end well.
It doesn't end well. Tammy, leave it. It's not yours. I said, well, they made it mine.
Oh, no.
Because I cannot sit at this table and enjoy myself while I know this woman is sitting here by herself.
Right.
Being ignored.
Being very self-conscious, completely uncomfortable. I've been that girl.
And ignored.
Yes.
Not just by everyone else in the room, but by the person who brought her.
I have absolutely been that girl.
Bad boyfriend.
Right.
Bad boyfriend. But here's her ownership in that. She allowed him to treat her that way.
Yeah.
She could have gone over to the table he was at with all of the other people. There were 1 or 2 women mixed in with the guys over there. Mm-hmm. She could have gone over there and just stood by his side so she wasn't sitting by herself.
Right.
She could have came over to the table where there were a handful of women. I mean, she had some choices, right?
Sure.
She could have told him, the hell with you. I'm not coming to your party because you're not nice to me when we go places together.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? So I said, all right, Josh, I won't go talk to what's-his-face and tell him all about himself, even though that's what I really want to do. But I am going to call her over and see if she would like to sit with us. Maybe she doesn't want to. Maybe something's happening in her world and she just needs some time to process whatever's happening. Right. I don't know, right? He's like, well, you could ask her to come over if that's what you think you need to do. So I said to the other women at the table, similar conversation, does anybody know her? Would you mind if I invited her over? Because I feel bad that she's sitting there by herself. Like, no, invite her over. So I did. Turns out this poor thing, she worked third shift at a nursing home as a CNA. During the day, she babysat for some family members' kids. She hasn't been to bed because now she's at her boyfriend's Christmas party, and he left her sitting there all by herself. He was new. He was feeling insecure. He didn't want to come alone. So he brought her so he could feel better, and then he left her
sitting there.
And she hasn't slept in over 24 hours.
That's insane.
And she has to work that night. She's not even going to get to go to bed. It is insane. So as she's telling us this, she keeps saying, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's fine, really. It's okay. It's fine. She's saying things like, well, I worked all night. I said, oh, you poor thing. You must be exhausted. No, it's fine. It's okay. I'm all right. I'm fine. Well, but that's really not fine. Have you even been to bed? Well, no, but it's fine. I mean, it's fine. I'm okay, really. I'm fine. It's all fine. It's not fine. And she kept saying it. So it reminded me of the apology. I'm sorry, but she was minimizing herself in a different way. It was not, and I'm sorry. She did not use those words, but she absolutely minimized herself to the point where she had zero needs, including the need for sleep.
That's not knowing your boundaries to an extreme.
Right.
If I haven't slept in 24 hours, you'll be the first to know that I got a boundary that was crossed, right?
For real.
Because I'm insane now, right? And you're going to hear everything about yourself and more.
Yes.
Unless you find me a pillow real quick.
For real. My husband very quickly came around to the realization that I need a lot more sleep than he does. And he just lets me have it. Because otherwise, it's not good.
It's not good.
No, at all, for anybody.
But the point is that she had zero boundaries.
Zero.
To the point where she's not getting very core fundamental basic needs.
Right.
Because she's minimizing herself
Right.
to be able to meet other people's wants and needs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably not to that degree, but I have been that girl.
I have been that girl too, with no boundaries. Again, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. I've had boundaries, and then I didn't, and then I do, and now I don't, and then I did. I've been all over the place with it. That was a very extreme example. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's what that looks like from outside. Again, I don't have any self-awareness. It seems I'm learning this about myself until someone points it out to me, or until I observe it in somebody else. And then I say, oh, yeah, that's not a good look. Now I get it.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. So this I'm sorry bit, where, we kind of talked through it. And I guess from my perspective, or the conclusion that I've made, is it neutralizes, right? It allows me to communicate something that perhaps I wouldn't feel comfortable being able to communicate otherwise, perhaps a boundary, right? I'm sorry, but this is the way this makes me feel.
Except I'm not sorry.
And I can't do that. Correct. But the point is that it neutralizes that for me.
I see, yeah.
Because maybe I'm moving from having no boundaries and not saying jack shit about it to saying, hey, look, I have something to say. You might not like it, AKA I'm sorry that you might not like it, but this is what I have to say.
Gotcha.
So that is actually a forward step. It's improvement from the girl at the table looking at her phone who hasn't slept in 24 hours to say, oh, it's fine. I actually didn't eat and I didn't sleep, but
it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'm sorry, but I have an opinion about this. You might not like it.
I'm not sorry because I have an opinion. I'm sorry because you might not like it.
That's right. I'm neutralizing here.
Yeah.
So maybe in the realm and the spectrum of all things, right? That's an improvement.
Yeah. Yeah.
To say, I have to say something about this. I'm uncomfortable. It's going to make you uncomfortable because you never heard this shit from me before.
Right.
But now I'm going on 27 hours and no sleep, and we got something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all perspective, perhaps.
I guess.
So for us, for people, women, people, lots of men deal with the situation too. Mm-hmm. I know it.
Right.
For us who are trying to navigate past, I have no boundaries and you can do what you want, to I do have boundaries and I'm having a hard time communicating them to you because I'm afraid of what your reaction might be, to how do we stop this in the future?
Yeah.
How do we create people?
How do we teach our young people?
It's normal to have boundaries.
It's more than normal. It's healthy and necessary.
It's accepted to have boundaries. Now let's figure
necessary.
out how to identify them, how to communicate them
in a healthy way. You don't have to be aggressive. Like, listen here, MRFer, I haven't slept in 24 hours. Right. How dare you ask me?
Right.
I know you have a need and you want me to fill it, but now I'm going to be mad because you're asking me to do something. But let's get to a step where we're not having that conversation, because it doesn't even get that far.
Correct.
Where he or she, in this situation with the girl at the Christmas party, her boyfriend wouldn't even say, I really need you to come with me because I'm insecure and nervous about being at this party. He would just say, hey, have a good night, get some rest, and I'll tell you about my party when I get back. I'm going to bring my friend.
Yeah. I'm a little insecure about it, so I'm going to bring my friend.
I'm going to bring my sister. I'm going to bring my whoever, my cousin, whatever. Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes. I'll text me before you go to sleep. I love you.
Right. Yes.
It sounds so much better.
It does sound so much better, doesn't it?
Or on the other side of that, right, as opposed to him actually circumventing that whole situation entirely, perhaps it is. So I don't know what your schedule looks like. I have this Christmas party. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable about it. Clearly I don't know very many people. Would you be willing to come with me? Mm-hmm.
I can't. I have to work.
Right.
And I don't have any vacation time. So I can't.
I'd really like to.
Right.
But here's my situation.
Right.
And I have to meet my basic needs.
Right. I've already committed to this shift, and I've already committed to watching my family members' kids during the day. Mm-hmm. I only have a 4-hour window to get some sleep, and that's in the middle of your party.
Yeah. Boundaries.
Right. That is that. You do have a problem. You are going somewhere or expected to go somewhere where you don't feel comfortable going by yourself.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
I can appreciate the situation you're in.
But I can't fix your problem.
Right. Let's brainstorm and figure out different ways to do that.
Right. Mm-hmm. That don't mean me sacrificing myself.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So it's recognizing those when somebody makes an ask like that. Not defaulting to, because I've done this a boatload of times in my life, to just saying yes. What do you need? Yes, sure. Mm-hmm. I'm here waiting for you to need me. So what is it?
I got your back.
Yeah, whatever it is, I can meet your need.
Never mind what I need.
Sorry, I need some sleep, but I'll do it on the way to and from the party.
Right.
I'll get half an hour in the car.
Right.
That'll be enough.
Oh my gosh, a connection was just made in my head. Oh, shit. Do you remember a couple of episodes ago when it was the intuition episode and we were talking about left brain versus right brain, and both of us were talking about what problem solvers we are.
I mean, we are problem solvers.
Do problem solvers?
Yeah.
In this environment have a tendency to not have, to solve other people's problems by steamrolling over their own boundaries?
Yeah.
I'm a problem solver, all right. You got a problem, I'll solve it.
By giving you all of me and having nothing left for me. So I mean, we've got several of our past episodes we could roll in here. I can't find my well, much less figure out how to fill it, because I'm so busy being available to whatever you might need.
Yeah.
To solving your problems, to filling all of the gaps in your life, to being at a party that I have no business being at because I haven't slept and won't be able to sleep literally in more than 24 hours. No wonder I can't find my well, much less have time to figure out what I might need or want to fill that well with.
Right. You found my well. You took plenty of cups out of my well.
Yeah. And I keep letting you do it.
Right.
I keep saying, here's more.
Right.
Need another bucket? Let me help you pull it up.
Right.
It's fine. It's fine. Really, it's fine. It's not fine. Now you have put yourself in a place where you are barely surviving. Your basic human needs are not being met.
The old lady at the party.
Yeah.
Has to be telling you.
Yeah. It's not okay.
Right.
Come here, little girl. Let me tell you it's not okay. And then I'm given that, whoever the bad boyfriend was, I was giving him the evil stink eye the rest of the night too. And Josh just kept looking at me, shaking his head. And every now and then he'd come over and he'd say, Tammy, knock it off. I see what you're doing. Stop doing that. Just stop it. So before they left, I said I don't remember either of their names. I said to this woman, I said, so you tell that boyfriend of yours that I am keeping an eye on him. And if I see him at next year's Christmas party, I'm going to be watching. You tell him that. And she did. Because I saw them when they walked out. Because again, I'm watching. She told him that. And he was looking around like, what girl? What lady? Who said that? And she actually looked a little bit fluffed up. Like, I empowered her to tell him, you were a bad boyfriend today.
Wow.
And that's not okay. So I think first of all, I wouldn't even have noticed.
Right.
And I wouldn't have known that she had been up all night if she hadn't been left sitting at that table by herself. But you needed her to be there for your moral support. And once you felt comfortable, you ditched her.
Right. Well,
now I'm giving the evil eye for real.
There's a whole lot of stuff there. Like that could be a whole lot of stuff. But the core point is, she needed to speak her truth.
Yes, she did.
Right.
And when I gave her a little permission
aside.
to do that,
right.
she was fluffed up when they left. And he did look reprimanded, even though I didn't actually say anything to him. Mm-hmm. I just gave him the look, and I did that where you like point at your eyes and you point at someone else's. Like I did that to him.
I'm all over you.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Mm-hmm. I see you clearly, like through crystal glass.
Uh-huh.
And he, like his face got a little red. He knew he had been naughty.
Yeah.
But it was the look on her face. Somebody gave her permission to tell him that was not okay. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that that lady said it wasn't okay. And now I feel better because I told you it wasn't okay, even if they weren't my words.
Yep.
I hope that she took that tiny little nugget, and the next time somebody wanted her to do something that was asking way far too much, I hope she took that and said, no, that's bad boyfriend thing. Yeah. No, that's really, I would love to help you, but I can't.
Yeah, I agree. She's going to be like, I remember that lady.
That crabby old lady at the Christmas party.
She was my fairy stepmother.
Yeah, my fairy godmother. Yeah. Maybe I was. Well, that makes me feel a little less old and crabby anyway. But because we haven't trained our young women how to set boundaries for themselves, so this goes back to the point, like, so how do we do this differently? Seeing young women in situations that are completely unacceptable. This isn't just me with my boundary being like, oh, listen here, bad boyfriend, you're crossing a line. This was so far out there. While we are training some of our younger women to do things a little differently, encouraging them to have boundaries, explaining why they're important, and demonstrating that, more importantly, as older women, demonstrating boundaries and why they're important without even having to use words. But when we see a woman who's in a situation that is completely unacceptable, it's kind of like you see someone walking down the street, hey, I like your purse. Saying something to build them up, even if it's just a general compliment, it's sort of the same thing, right? It's just taking a little care. I see somebody who is floundering over there today, and I'm going to take a little care and tell her that I see her.
Yeah, I get it. So initially I was thinking, well, how do we affect little kids at the point in time where they truly are learning these skills of building boundaries and things like that? But what I hear you saying is, perhaps it isn't as much of a shift as what I'm referring to. Perhaps it is showing by example, to be able to show our own daughters. Perhaps it is creating the little nudge to say, hey, actually, you're seeing it this way, but you might, I don't know, you might want to consider looking at it through a different lens, right?
Girlfriend, that's not all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Perhaps like adding that context as opposed to saying, hey, 3-year-old, let's have a conversation about boundaries. Right. Like, and I'm exaggerating for emphasis, of course.
Right.
But I learned how to not have boundaries by watching other people. So, of course,
why couldn't the opposite be true?
That's right. That's right. Would it be as sudden as a shift? Probably not, because we all have learning to do, right? I'm still learning the boundary thing, very similar to you.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's going to shift from no boundaries to some boundaries to healthy boundaries.
Right. Right.
That feels good to me.
Yeah.
And it feels like something that I can actually impact, as opposed to, wow, this is a really large problem that is going to take a really large solution. Just reflecting on your own boundaries situation, what you are showing others and having conversations around, where you apply the I'm sorries and why. Why are you applying the I'm sorries? And shifting in yourself.
Right. I'm not sorry if I'm not actually sorry.
Yeah.
Words matter. I'm not going to say I'm sorry if I'm not. I don't have to be little so someone else can be big. There's plenty of room for all of us to be big. We don't have to be minimized. And we certainly don't have to do it to ourselves.
Right.
We teach people that that's how we want them to treat us then. Again, by example, right? We show them. So I feel like there's a lot of very small things that can shift.
Right.
These are not big, giant shifts. They're little shifts.
They're little shifts that actually have a lot of impact.
Exactly. Right. Right. But I don't feel like it would take a huge effort to make a little shift.
Not at all. That's something very, very manageable.
Right. Right. And I don't know this woman's story. I don't know if she has a mother figure in her life. I don't know if there's somebody at home who is saying to her the very same things that I said, but you know how it often is with mothers and daughters. Daughters can't hear what mom is saying, but some other perfectly stranger, crabby old lady at the Christmas party says it, and now suddenly it makes sense.
There's whole other things that could be applying here too, right? She may fall into a component of victimhood. Maybe he said to her, you need to go home and get some sleep. She goes, no, it's fine.
Could be.
I mean, that's possible
Absolutely.
too. You jumped into the middle of that situation.
Right.
So like, it could be bigger than that. But the point is that you took the opportunity to, share what you were seeing and how you were seeing it, and allowed her to be able to question, wonder, oh yeah, like this doesn't feel good.
Again, like I don't notice lots of things about myself till someone points it out. Maybe she didn't either.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
Good for you. Nice
Well,
job.
good for her.
Well,
really.
good for you though too. Congratulations.
Thanks. I might be looking for that kid this Christmas party too. He's in my sights. And all the other young ones who bring their girlfriends, just leave them sit there. I'm going to be watching.
You're not going to be invited to the Christmas parties anymore.
Josh isn't going to let me come.
He's going to say he has something else.
He's going to say, I don't need you to be there.
He's going to say he has a dentist appointment.
That Cole is going to with him? No. I'm just going to be watching. Crabby old lady. I'm very confident in that role.
Fairy godmother.
Fairy godmother. That's better than crabby old lady. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. So as we sign off here, we just wanted to say thank you to Mind Garden Media.
Amen.
None of this would be happening without them.
Yep, absolutely.
At all. So thanks for putting all of our episodes together, doing all the editing, adding in the music, and handing it to us literally in a nice wrapped up little package every week.
Absolutely.
So thanks for all your hard work, Todd.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we also would like to say thank you to all of our listeners. We are very excited every week. We look to see where people are listening. And this month we've had 4 downloads from India, and we know people in England are listening, and
beyond our core tribe, right? Our core tribe from locally in our area have been extraordinarily supportive, both
Absolutely.
with comments and things on social media, but again, also just sharing their feedback and letting us know that they support us.
Right.
Just with our conversations. And that is so heartwarming.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. The best way to be able to show your support, honestly, is to allow us to be able to expand this tribe, right? Mm-hmm. This tribe of folks who are listening in and enjoying what we have to say, and hopefully taking some of this and asking yourself questions for self-discovery, but share it with your own tribe. To be able to expand this and allow us to connect to people that we don't already know.
Absolutely. Yeah. So share. We are, you can find us on Facebook, Riding Side Saddle Podcast. We are at Gmail. We've got Riding Side Saddle Podcast at Gmail.
Yeah.
So if you want to send us an email and connect that way, you can do that. We're on Instagram too, Riding Side Saddle, the podcast. We're on Spotify and YouTube. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
So
share.
And share. I mean, if Cher wants to like us too, that'd be great.
Just share. All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Till next time. See ya.